Hi everybody, I had an interesting question from someone in the comments below one of my videos the other day, and I thought I'd address that. And the question was, when you rent a DayZ server, do players have to pay to come onto the server, and how do you invite people onto the server? And I thought, oh yeah, probably haven't really talked about that before. So first things first, when you personally rent a DayZ server, so if it's for console, it will be through Nitrado. You pay for that, and then you can mod that server however you like. But the people who are coming onto that server don't have to pay. You can restrict access to your server. You can, in fact, make it private, and you can do that in a couple of ways. You could have a password on it, so people have to put a password before they come on. Or a better way is to have a whitelist. So you have a list of the usernames, Xbox usernames or PlayStation usernames of the people who are coming onto the server, and that way they don't have to try and enter a password. It'll either let them in or it won't let them in that way. Now, of course, you could say, well, wait a minute, I could charge people to have access to my server, couldn't I? Because you do, Rob, don't you? Skill Speed Gaming. You do. So what you can do is you can charge for access to your server, but you need to be very careful about how you do it. And you need to get permission off Bohemia Interactive. I'll put a link in the description below this video to the DayZ server monetization rules. And basically what they said, that the crux of the matter is you are allowed to restrict access to your server to paying customers, if you like, but you must make sure that nobody gets an advantage in-game through paying for things. Okay, that's a big no-no. So, for example, you couldn't have a situation where people who paid to get onto the server were given like a startup set of, like an M4 and a chemical suit and a load of food, and people who didn't pay didn't get that. You can't have pay to win, basically. So that's super important. So to answer the first bit of the question, no, the person who's renting the server pays for it, and then the people who are coming onto the server, they don't have to pay to get on. Now the next bit is, how do you invite people? Well, that's the crux of the matter. And so, as you'll probably know, so this is the PC launcher. So here's a load of servers. So to invite people onto the server, you've got to just tell them what the name of the server is, and then they can search for it in their their launcher. So on PC, you would search up here, and then on console, you would. Let me show you. Let me grab my controller. You go over to community, and then you see where it says search. You could search there. Then the server would come up. They can favorite it, and they can go on. On PC as well, you also have the option of direct connections, and you can do that by giving people the IP address of the server and the game port, and they can connect in directly. That can help with ping issues on PC. So I found sometimes there's certain servers I just can't find in the server browser. They just don't come up. But if I direct connect to them using the IP address, I can get in, and then they'll appear in your recents, and then you can favorite them, and then they'll appear in your favorites, and then it's easy to have access to them. Now that's all well and good for your friends, you play with. But if you're saying, well, wait a minute, I want lots of people to be able to get onto the server so that I have a full pop server, or I have more people than normal, how do I do that? Well, it's very tricky because there's a lot of competition for servers. I mean, the first thing I would say is make sure that the server that you create, whether that be for PlayStation, Xbox or PC, have it so that you enjoy playing on it. So it's a version of DayZ that you like, whether that be vanilla or whether it be modded. And if it is vanilla, one of the things that people are often looking for is they're looking for people to be admins, basically. So they know that if they come onto your vanilla server, they can have a vanilla DayZ experience, and they won't get griefed by cheaters or hackers or dupers. And that's why people find, for example, on PC, Spaggy's servers really enjoyable, because it's vanilla DayZ, but he has admins who are keeping an eye on things to make sure that nothing nefarious is going on. And you can say that in the description of your video. You could put vanilla, and when people are searching for things, they could do that. You could put PvP, player versus player, PvE for player versus environment, boosted loot, less loot, survival server. You can put all that sort of thing in the name of the server, and then if people are looking for those things, then obviously they'll be able to appear and go for it. Other things you can do is, obviously, you could create Facebook groups or join Facebook groups where they accept advertisements for servers. You can, if you're in some Discords, if they accept advertisements for servers, again, you can list things there. You could go on Twitter, and do that. You could create a YouTube channel. And the reason why most people have joined my servers, for example, is because of it's probably because of my YouTube channel. And I go on my servers and I have PvE adventures, and people go, oh, how do I do that? And then in the description below my video, there's a link to a website where they can read about it, and they can come and join my servers that way. But it's not an easy thing, and I would definitely say to people, it's very difficult to have a high pop server. And if your goal is to have high pop servers, then prepare to be disappointed. And that's why I always say, make a version of DayZ on your server that you want to play, irrespective of how many people are on it. And then if you enjoy it and your friends enjoy it and they tell other people and they come and join, then that's great. And the other thing that I'll finish with as well is that once you've got a server and people are joining it, and let's say you have a Discord as well where people can come together, you will always get problems. Right? People don't always play nicely together. Honestly, they don't. Even very mature adults can often have problems with each other, and so be prepared for that. Having servers means that you can often have to be involved in lots of different admin activities. Now, I'm very lucky with my community. That I have hardly any of that. I can't remember the last time we had a problem, but my community is fairly small. They're fairly we're very PvE focused. People jump into my servers and they have an adventure, they do some building and stuff like that. There's no PvP at all, and then they come off and they go on more dangerous community servers or more dangerous public servers, that sort of thing. But if you've got a high pop server, I guarantee there will be issues you have to deal with. So just bear that in mind as well. So hopefully I've answered that question. If I have, hit the like button. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And of course, if you've got any questions, no matter what they are, please put them in the description below. Please put them in the comment section below the video, because I do read these, and although I don't always have time to reply to everything, I do have a list of videos and questions. They're the lifeblood of the channel, because they enable me to answer those things that people want to know. And remember, if you're thinking of a question, I guarantee there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are thinking of the same question too. Anyway, that's enough from me, and I'll see you again soon.